Today is the day that all of you guys are going to look back and say, I was an OG. I was here at day one of the Diablo Immortal, aka the Immortal Podcast. Welcome everybody that has been following my Diablo Immortal channel, Nemo's Scrappy Academy channel. This is an exciting day for us because although Diablo Immortal is not yet released, we get to start our roots here talking about it and kind of building that community like I've been doing here for a year on my channel. Welcome to the Immortal Podcast. Welcome, Nemo. How you doing, homie?
I'm doing very well. Thanks, Echo. I'm super excited. I cannot wait to get started. We got so much to talk about. There's already 60 people in here. We got questions. I mean, I'm really pumped. Let's go.
Yeah, so let me fill you guys in on what this is all about, okay? Like, what is the Diablo Immortal podcast about? And, what are we here to do? And I'm just setting up audio stuff as we go here. Let me know if everything sounds okay. The Immortal podcast is one that is live, okay? We're not recording this and then editing it and bring it to you later. We have a few topics that we're here to talk about, and then what makes this special, kind of like a podcast I used to do on my main channel a few years ago, I take your questions. Nemo takes your questions from the chat. So if you have questions about Diablo Immortal, you can ask us, and we're going to be answering them live. So it's not like we have something set in stone, a plan on what we're going to discuss about. A few topics, of course, but then it's up to you guys. Bring whatever questions you have, and we're going to do our best to answer them. Now, do remember, I'm not an employee of Blizzard. I don't work there. I don't know every single answer, but I was at Blizzcon 2019. I played the heck out of the game while I was there, so I really know how it feels, at least what it was like back then. And I've been following the game exclusively for a year on this channel. And Nemo has a lot of previous Diablo experience. He's also excited about the game, and he's now covering it on his channel. So Nemo, tell us a little bit about your thoughts and why you're excited, why you're covering Diablo Immortal right now on your channel.
Sure, sounds good. I'm super into action RPGs. I've been playing them for a long time. I mean, that's kind of like the beginning for me almost. So I've kind of been into Diablo Immortal and World of Warcraft and a bunch of other Blizzard games forever. So when I heard that Diablo is coming to a mobile experience, it just exploded my mind. I'm super ready, super excited. So I've been here playing Diablo 3, waiting for Diablo 4, and of course, Diablo Immortal. So let's go.
Yeah, let's go. And I want to take a second and just say thank you to everyone that came through. It's our first stream here for Diablo Immortal on the channel. It's already filling up nicely. We have some royalty in the house. We got Judo Sloth. We have MFPF, another content creator. We even have Champman Gaming, all content creators here on YouTube. So it's nice to see you guys coming through and supporting something that's in its infantile stages right now. But in time, this will grow. So, Nemo, why don't we start? Oh, by the way, this is about a 45-minute to an hour show. It's going to be bi-weekly. So we're going to bring it to you every other week. If there's any requests for things you want us to check out, we can pull that stuff up live with you guys as well. See what is in your minds, what thoughts you're having, etc. But let's start out here, Nemo. I'm going to let you take the reins on this first one. And I know that either it's been asked a ton in chat already, it's been in my comments a ton already. When is beta coming out? Is it official? Is there an official launch date of that? And what are your thoughts on it if not?
Sure, it sounds good. There's about 1,000 questions on beta because, well, it is coming very soon. So, in the latest news, we've heard Immortal say on the Q3 financial call that the open beta or the closed beta for internal testing has been over. So it's done. We've had over 12 different updates on Google Play Store. So basically, what happened was they've been internally testing the game between all of the Diablo Immortal employees and all of their family members. They've played it. They've gave the feedback back to the development team. And of course, now there's been 12 different updates on the Google Play Store. The next thing they said that, and they, the word to describe this was soon. So nobody really knows when beta is actually coming out. But what they said on the Q3 financial call that soon they will be entering external regional testing. External means, of course, beta for everybody. Regional means there's only going to be in specific regions, but it is coming soon. If you ask me as far as when, it's a tough one. I'd say sometime in March. March or April would be my guess when beta would be coming. But that's just me.
Listen, Nemo, March, April is not what people want to hear. People want to hear that beta is coming today. But again, listen, I went to, soon trademarked by MFPF right there. Also, Judo says Diablo 2 was one of his favorite games ever, so he's eagerly waiting for this one for sure. He loves the podcast idea. Hey, another thing about this show that I didn't even mention is we have room for a guest in every episode. We have plans and have had discussions with people from the Diablo community to join us on this show. It's not just going to be Nemo and I every show. Actually, this may be the last show that is just him and I. This is our introductory show. We're going to start it out with him and I. But you can expect that every other week we have a different guest coming on. People that are OGs from the community, content creators, maybe even some people over at Blizzard. It's a really exciting thing that we're building here. Like I said, this is day one. And yeah, so where are we going from here? I see that it says 9-ball already in there in the chat, but I don't know if that's the real 9.
That
you
is.
guys remember, is that the real 9?
That is the real 9. I verified officially.
Oh, very nice. So Nemo, see, this is why we work together, Nemo and I. We're a team. 9-ball was on my series here for Diablo lore and really broke down what the story was of Diablo. It was a whole playlist of that in the channel. But okay, so beta, you think it's coming in March, and I have to say, Nemo, and this is my breakdown. I want to remind you guys that I have no inside information about release dates. Blizzard is very quiet about when this stuff is all coming. But we had alpha come in, what was it, July or August, and it was a closed alpha. I heard it was so closed that it was really only to people that work at Blizzard, employees, not even friends and family of people at Blizzard, just literally within the walls, which now during COVID, it's not actually inside of walls. It's, you know, they're all working from home, but only employees were able to play it. And it kept getting updates, and we realized that they were obviously playing it, saying this needs to be changed, this needs to be changed, and who knows how many changes came to the game over the last year. But with that being said, it was said that it's going to be going external now. I think it's going to be coming before March, Nemo. I think that, and again, this is just a prediction, but I think that we're going to be getting it maybe at the beginning of the new year. It's like maybe a little Happy New Year gift to all of us. Here we go. The beta is there. Now, if you're not registered for the beta, because some people may be wondering, how do you get in on this? It's really simple. You just register on the site. Here, I actually have it up here. There we go. And then we can switch to the scene. There we go. So right here, you could just pre-register for the site. It's for the game. It's right here. That's going to be for Android. iOS is a little bit tougher. I actually pre-registered here and on the what was it called? The BlueStacks website as well.
BlueStacks, yep.
Just in case, right? Because I wanted to make sure that no matter what, whether I have it from Blizzard, I have it from organically grabbing it, that I was able to get it. So make sure that you pre-register so you have that chance, because you never know when that chance is going to be yours. But I think my prediction is that some people will have it in their hands at the beginning of the new year. That's also a hope, too. I'm not 100% sure, so we'll see.
We'll see. Good one. Beginning of the year, huh? So January, you think it's going to be in regional?
I think that there's going to be some type of an open beta, some type of a beta, meaning some people outside of Blizzard employees will be able to get this game. I don't know if they're going to do regional. I really hate how games do regional betas, because then you're finding yourself downloading it from this country, having to mess with settings. Everyone gets it if they want it anyway. I just wish it was just open to certain people chosen. I don't know how they even do it. I don't know the back end of that stuff, but I wish it wasn't by region. Honestly, region is probably the easiest way for them to do it that way, or else it can get confusing. But why don't we get to another question? We have one here from Vincent saying, what classes are you guys going to take? So Nemo, what do you now? Obviously, we know that there's 6 classes inside of the game. Nemo, tell us those classes. You better not stumble, man. Tell us the 6 classes and let us know which one you're most excited to play.
Well, this is a really tough question. I actually discussed this in a video just a little while ago. I don't know what class I'm going to take. My favorite class is the Barbarian. I really like the Monk. The Demon Hunter is great for range. Right, we got a Crusader, a Necro that's coming eventually. I would have to say that if I had to pick one, I would probably start with a Barbarian. This is going to be tough, but I have no choice. I'm going to start with a Barbarian. What about you?
Okay, so, and I've also mentioned this in the video, I plan on playing every class, and often, because I'm making content for it. I'm going to want to have content for all the different classes. But I believe, and I see T McVie coming in here as well today. I got to give her a mod. Thanks T. I don't believe. I know that my first class is going to be the Necromancer. Do you want to know why, Nemo? Do you want to know why I'm going to call it?
Go for it. Tell me.
I'm going Necro because that's what everyone wants to see. Everyone is so hyped over the Necro or the Crusader because there's like nothing out on those 2 classes. There's no footage of that. It wasn't available at BlizzCon 2019. So that's why I'm coming through with one of those 2, most likely the Necromancer. Then I'll probably do the Crusader next. And then the class that I'll probably love the most in the game is going to be the Barbarian. But I want to do something that the community wants, something that they're going to be like hyped to see. Now, Nemo, that may have made you rethink your choice of Barbarian. Just saying, I don't know.
No way. No way. I'm sticking with it. But hey, here's a question for you. Do you think the Necro will be out? Are they going to have all characters out right away? Or maybe there'll be two behind some sort of a unlock or something like that, right?
Oh,
So
don't say
we'll
that. What Nemo basically just said is two behind a paywall. That's what Nemo was just trying to
not
say
behind the
right there.
paywall. You could also unlock it by going up, let's say, levels or something like that, right? Like if you max out a character, I don't know. But are all going to be available at once? I don't know. Will Necro be available at start? I know Barb will.
Yeah, well, when at BlizzCon 2019, and as of now, we haven't seen any footage besides 2018 Necromancer and
Yep.
2018 BlizzCon Crusader. They had the Demon Hunter, the Wizard, the Monk, and the Barbarian. Those are 4 classes that I played, and I played them all multiple times on both of the devices. I've said this before on the channel. So, yeah, those are going to be available. They've already been played. I don't think that they're going to put the Necromancer and the Crusader behind a paywall. I don't think that's the route they're going with. I mean, I've had extensive talks with people over at BlizzCon, and since then I keep in touch with them, and they haven't said, here, Echo, this is our monetization strategy. This is what we're going to do. They have not done that, but I really don't believe that they're going to say, okay, if you want the Necromancer, you have to buy this pack for $12.99 and you'll unlock that class. Now, could they? Yes, they totally could. Is it the worst thing in the world? I don't think so. I don't want to be able to pay for power. But if I had to pay to unlock a class in a free-to-play game, assuming it's free-to-play, then I think that I would be okay with paying for a character. Like think about Brawl Stars, for example, if we have any Brawl Stars players here. If you want to unlock some of those legendary characters, they're really hard to get from boxes. You could get them, but they're hard to get. So a lot of times you'll find yourself spending 700 gems, which is like $50 in game or something like that in Brawl Stars to get characters. I've bought 2 of them. Free to play game. I wanted those heroes. I bought them. So if Blizzard were to say, okay, we're going to let you guys have these 4 heroes start of the game, but if you want the Necro and the Crusader, they're going to cost X amount of dollars. I would be okay with it. I know that a lot of the community would be like, what is this garbage? We want everything for free. But we have to remember that Blizzard is going to need to monetize Diablo Immortal somehow. They need to find a way to make money from the game because it costs nothing to play it. You can download it for free. There's many options for this. It's been a lot of controversy as well. And I mean, I want to see it done in a way that doesn't allow people to gain an advantage over others while playing the game. I want to be able to play and be just as good as someone that spends thousands of dollars in the game, or at least maybe not just as good, but have the same chance of being successful in the game as them. What do you think, Nemo?
Well, that's a really tough question. I think we could probably have a whole episode on just the monetization. I have so much to say, I don't know where to start. But as far as the Necro and the whole add-on thing, I mean, they did that in Diablo 3, but this is a completely different. I mean, we're talking a completely different realm. And yeah, free to play. Will it be free to play? What kind of month? So I don't know. I don't think they'll lock it behind a paywall. I think that would not be a good idea. I honestly don't think that they're gonna do that. But as far as how it will be, I don't know. If it was up to me, I would release all the characters at once because it just gives more depth to the game. And then if you're playing like a dungeon or any kind of stuff like that, when you have a team play aspect of it and you have more characters. I mean, if you looked at the preview, right, in the video they showed where they kind of alluded to the whole we're gonna have dungeons or something like that in Diablo, they showed 6 people. So 6 characters, 6 people, that would make sense, right? I mean, I don't know. I think all of them will come out at once. I do not think they'll go paywall.
Yeah, well, Nine Ball just made a suggestion here in his thought. Now, by the way, Nine is like an OG of Diablo from the beginning, from
Yeah,
the beginning of time. So I actually respect a lot of what he says and a lot of his insight. We're gonna bring him on this podcast soon as well.
for sure.
But he said he wouldn't be surprised to see them eventually release paid characters, but the core announced ones would be a bit surprising to see if they were behind a paywall. And I agree. I mean, like I said, I'm fine with paying some type of money for different things inside of the games that I play. Like, there's no different. If you were to buy Diablo 4, it's going to cost you $65 to buy the game, right? And then you may even have to pay for other things inside of the game over time. So, what's the difference if you spend $10 here, $5 here inside of a free game? To me, people saying this is a mobile game, it should be free, that's not an excuse for me. I don't agree with that. I think mobile or not, they're building a AAA game. It's just doing it on a mobile platform, whether it be an iPad, whether it be a phone. It's the same thing as any other Diablo game, just a change in platform. We could tell by how much time they're putting to the development. If they were just trying to make a quick buck, they would have a year ago gone with the build that NetEase gave them and said, "Oh, this is good. We can make millions of dollars with this and release it." But they're not at all doing that. They are basically reworking that entire thing to be Blizzard standard, and there we go. So, Nemo, why don't you take T McVenom's question I dropped in the chat there?
Sounds good. All right, so as completely new game player, can you give a quick rundown of the type of game this is? I have a lot of people watching, and I never heard of a mobile version, and I never played the originals. But
All
sure,
right.
it's do you want to actually take that, or do you want me to?
I want to make a comment first before you take the question, and this
Sure.
is what's great about this. And I was actually speaking to someone from Blizzard last week, and this was a topic that this person brought up to me. They were saying, well, they wanted to kind of get a feel for what are we going to have? Who's going to play this game? Is it going to be Diablo players, or are we going to be talking to mobile players? And this is a great thing right here because we're going to be having Diablo players who just want and are feeding for the next Diablo content. They want to know what's coming next for Diablo in the story. They're going to play this game. Plus, the mobile community, which is what Nemo and I focus on. I have 3 YouTube channels, everyone focused on mobile gaming. Once in a while, I'll play a PC game like Diablo 3 on the channel, but really, I focus on mobile. I'm a mobile gaming enthusiast, if that's even a thing. If it's not, I just coined it. So mark that down. Make a GIF out of it if you want. But, guys, I think we are going to explode the dungeon crawler Diablo genre on mobile. I mean, this is something that has been done and done well on mobile, but never done the way that I think it should be to be a AAA title. So what we're looking at right here, T McV, is basically it's a dungeon crawler. It's going to be an action RPG game with a bit of an open world element to it. Nemo, you could take it from there.
Sure. First of all, Venom, welcome to Diablo. My friend, you're in for a surprise. First of all, you should probably start playing Diablo 3 if you have a PC or a console or anything like that to get ready, because there's going to be a lot of that involved. So you can play D3, get familiar. It's a really fun game. And then, of course, jump into Immortal as soon as it gets there. But exactly what Echo said. It's a dungeon action RPG game where you can play by yourself or with your friends against the computer. It has a lot of PvE experience. That's player versus environment versus player. Although we might see PvP. I don't know. Who knows? But that is what that is. And you're going to be playing and basically beating the story, doing a whole bunch of different activities. And at the end of the game, once you get all the way to the max, that's where all the fun starts. That's where you get together with your friends. You get the best gear. You start doing raids, dungeons. You start pushing the leaderboards. There's a lot of excitement. The key to this game is to get to the end game, because that's really where the game starts.
Yeah, and that's the cool thing about it. We're not just looking at something that is a campaign. You play through it and then it's over. There's a huge end game to this. And Nemo's kind of talking about the end game that we know from Diablo 3, right? But really, there could be some new elements brought to this that are going to be exclusive to Diablo Immortal. Like they talked about a little bit more of an open world thing. Now, I don't know exactly what that means. I don't think it means something like WoW, where you have literally an entire world. But it's not going to be as closed in, at least in my opinion, as Diablo 3 was. I think we're going to have a lot of options to kind of explore and be part of something bigger than just a closed in, more linear type of experience. Not saying Diablo 3 is linear, but more linear. And MFPF is saying it's an MMO action RPG, which is something like what was some of the games I mentioned, like Genshin Impact or Genshin Impact. That's kind of like an open world type game like that. Now, by the way, that game, I put a video on that, $245 million it made in the first 30 days. Now, I'm not saying Diablo Immortal is going to make that kind of money. Genshin Impact hits all that anime stuff that so many people love. I don't know if the audience is as big for the hell-ridden Diablo. I personally prefer that, but I don't know if others do. But either way, the potential for this style, this genre of game to do well on mobile, it's just there. It's incredible. So what are the questions do we have along the way?
Well,
I need to give... No, I gave 9 mod. Good.
so the number one question that everybody's asking, and there's about 500 of those, is when is Immortal coming out? That's the question that everybody wants to know. And again, remember, we don't know when it's coming out. Nobody knows when it's coming out. They're taking their time. One of the things that Echo mentioned that was really a good point is the fact that they could have rushed this game and brought it out, months ago, if not longer, right? And we could have had some sort of a whatever game where they can make money, but they're not. I know development teams. I know how people work. There's a lot of love for this game. The development team is really trying to make this game amazing. So they're going to take their time, release this amazing game, and hopefully have it push all the way to the same way as Diablo 3 does. We've had Diablo 3 since 2012. People still play it every day. So I feel like this is going to be one of those same experiences. But as far as when it's coming out, no one knows. If I had to guess, my guess would be, like I said, April or March for beta. And I would say probably, and you're going to hate me, but I would say the end of next year, earliest, or when the game is actually going to come out.
And that's where Nemo and I disagree. Now, and that's fine, and that's why I love having a co-host in the show, because we don't have to agree about everything. But you know what I think it comes down to?
Hmm?
They wouldn't be going to beta, Nemo, if they didn't think that alpha went well. If they didn't work through all the kinks that the team found, because basically that's what this is. This is testing, right? Alpha is the team testing. Does this game work the way we want it? Let's get it to where we want it, and then let's push it out so that we can see the community and see what their thoughts are on it. So if they push it out and the community embraces this and says, oh my God, this is incredible, I love it, then I think they're going to be a sooner release. If we, the community, find tons of bugs and issues and things are just not right about the game, then they're going to pull back, possibly even go to another alpha or internal testing. Who knows if it's that bad? And then another beta. It all depends on the experience that we're having. So if our experience is good, if the game plays well, and if everything is sweet, I think we'll have it sooner. But if we run into problems along the way, then yeah. And Nine Ball saying end of next year, please. No, I know.
Well, okay. So you make a lot of sense, and there are some like light at the end of the tunnel, right? Like at the quarter three financial call, they told their investors soon. One of the things that is really, really tough, like you can't really BS your investors. It's very important to make sure that you deliver on your promises. So soon is soon. So I mean, that is a lot of light at the end of the tunnel. But again, I'm going to be skeptical. I'm going to say next year, and hopefully be pleasantly surprised when it comes earlier.
Yeah, well, I like that. You don't want to set yourself up for letdown.
Right.
I'm expecting beta any day, right? They're going to hit up a whole bunch of people and say, here's beta. And we're going to be so excited. It's going to be great. And we're going to play the heck out of it on our channels if we happen to be the ones to get it. Now, I would anticipate after that, my guess for official launch, and I've seen betas go for years. Brawl Stars beta was almost 2.5 years long. Everyone thought the game was dead. They thought it was going to be gone. And it came out, and it was last year the the top 10 game on YouTube watched. And it was a mobile game. There were like 3 mobile games on there. And this is from a game that everyone said was going to die in beta because the beta lasted so long. They waited. They put together a great game, and it thrives, right? I'm anticipating that we will see the launch, and this is a guess because who knows what's going to come between now and then, but I'd say by June or July. That's when we're going to actually be able to all play the game. Beta, that'll give them a 6-month beta time. I mean, they were only in beta alpha for 4 or 5 months, right? August, September, yep. October, November. Yep. Yeah, so 4 months of alpha. Let's give them an extra few months for beta to stress test the system, assuming everything's going to be good. And now let's talk about if it's going to be good. And this is something, and one of my biggest points as to why I made this channel. When I was at Blizzcon 2019, first of all, it was life-changing. I've been to Finland, I've been to Poland, I've been to Germany, I've been to Mexico, all of this for Clash of Clans. And I know the whole community. I know everyone in Clash of Clans, everyone from Supercell. It's just a great community that's become my home over the past 4.5 years on my main channel. When I went to Blizzcon, I knew no one. And let me tell you a little story quickly. When I first got there, I literally knew absolutely no one. I saw these 4 dudes who looked like they knew where they were going. They were like journalist type guys. I just quietly followed them around for the first half hour of BlizzCon. I went where they went. I didn't know what I was looking at. It was massive and overwhelming. And then lucky for me, Wyatt kind of took me under his wing. He kind of took me around with him. I met a bunch of other people. Nine Ball was one of them. I got to meet up with Mobile Gamer, which was awesome. And I started to make relationships there, some that have now lasted a full year, which is really awesome. And I hope that over time I make this another family, just like my Supercell family, as I continue to grow this channel here. Now that I've went off track, Nemo, I forgot my even topic of this. What was I even talking about?
We'll talk about the quality and will it
Oh
be
yeah.
good.
Thank you. And that's another reason why I need you, my man. I tend to ramble. So after I played Immortal, they had, well, first of all, they had their Diablo Immortal section inside of BlizzCon, this big area. I was able, because I was in as media, to go into this back room and play Immortal. They had 2 iPads or tablets and 2 phones. I got to play all 4 classes. I could have played all day, every day if I wanted, but I played 4 classes on tablet, 4 classes on mobile. It was an overwhelming experience. I went back to my room, I laid down in the bed, and I thought to myself, what am I going to do on my channel to grow it, to build a community for Diablo Immortal, while the game is still not out? I downloaded every action RPG, MMO RPG that looked good, and I tried them all. And I'm talking about Black Desert Mobile, I'm talking about, those kinds of games, and like the dungeon crawler games. And there was literally nothing that came close. Nothing that gave me the feeling that Diablo Immortal did. The game a year ago was a perfect game for me. Now, I didn't see menus, I didn't see skill trees, I just got into the gameplay, the controls, the look of the game, and it was awesome. It was, it's like you have these defining moments in your life when you realize that you've been introduced to something that may change your life, right? I remember back in the day, I used to be into like rap and all that, and then I liked rock a little bit, and then I heard this band called From Autumn to Ashes, and they introduced me to the world of hardcore, like really heavy screamo metal, and I'm like, wow, I just found something that's going to like completely influence me. Got huge into the scene. This is the same thing for action RPGs on mobile. It's the same experience. It was my wow moment, made me realize that this is going to be the future for me on what I'm doing here on YouTube. And with that being said, I tried a couple of other games on the channel, but nothing really interests me the way Diablo Immortal does. Nothing interests the community the same way. Even Raziel, which is probably the closest comparison to Diablo Immortal, it just couldn't keep my interest long enough the way that Diablo Immortal would. So I'm excited for the game, man. I'm excited for the game. What other questions have we had coming through as I've been rambling?
Actually, a bunch of questions that are really good. So I'll take one from Venom again. He has a really good one. He says, will there be a clan or squad grouping or multiple players in this game? That's really a hot question. Everybody wants to know that. But there's going to be, we're for sure going to see like co-play, right? So you're going to be able to, even on the last video that me and Echo did, where I asked him questions, he did confirm that he was able to join a party with another player and play co-op. Is that correct, Echo?
Yes.
Awesome. So he's going to be able to do that. You're also going to be able to go in and jump in and most likely do some sort of greater rifts and rifts like you do in Diablo 3. But they also alluded to this MMO aspect. So there's going to be a group play there. And possibly we're going to have like some sort of dungeons and raids. If you ever played games like World of Warcraft or maybe Destiny, those types of games where they have end game activities, they take a long time. They require a bunch of players with specific builds, specific characters to jump in and do stuff. And of course, as you get to a higher and higher level, you get teams of players that, try to push the leaderboards and be the first ones to solve raids and so on. It's really, really exciting. So I think there's going to be a lot of that. I am mostly excited about the end game activities, as you can hear, between the Greater Rift, and pushing possibly raids and things like that. So yes, there's going to be multiplayer. I cannot wait for it. And I'm sure there's going to be guilds and all that stuff as well.
Yeah, there kind of have to be. With this type of game, it would be a huge disservice to themselves and to their game if they didn't have something like that. I mean, I think that goes without saying. There's going to be that element in the game. Now, I do want to mention right here, Nineball just made a comment. He says, if you look at some of the big streamers for Diablo, so we're talking about Riker and Bloodshed, the community wants to see them play Diablo Immortal, and that's an interest from the PC community. That's a great point. These guys are like the streamers for Diablo 3, right? And their community is asking for Diablo Immortal. Now, of course they're going to play it. Of course they're going to show their community what they want, and they're probably going to enjoy it too. I don't think they're going to be Diablo Immortal content creators moving forward. Like, they are PC guys. Their next big move is into Diablo 4, as it should be, because that's where they live. And for me, and for Nemo at least I could try to speak for you, Nemo, I think that our main play is Diablo Immortal. I don't think I'll ever try to change this channel from Immortal into Diablo 4. I mean, yeah, I'll probably play a little bit on the channel when it comes out because it'll be exciting, but like, this is a mobile gaming channel, and that's what it's going to remain. So
That's a good question, and something you bring up as well. Maybe even another. There was somebody else, actually. Pablo said, "What do PC players think about Immortal after all this time?" So that I'll kind of lead into that. So I agree. The Immortal is going to be a mobile thing, right? And everybody's pretty excited to play it. The hardcore PC players like Riker and Bloodshed, and even me, right? Me and other players have played Diablo 3 for a long time. Diablo 2 has been out for even Diablo 1, right? So will those players? There was a bit of a negative reaction at first, but I think a lot of those players, now that Diablo 4 has been announced, we've got sort of not a date, but we have a whole bunch of information about it. We really know that the timeline is coming. I think a lot of those players come around now and will play Immortal at least until Diablo 4 comes out for those hardcore players. And will I play Immortal and D4? You absolutely know it. I'm gonna definitely play Diablo 4 because I played Diablo 3. But I covered on the channel, I don't know. But I'm definitely playing it for sure because I am not just a mobile player; I'm a PC player as well. That's what's great about Echo and I. He is a mobile player. I'm kind of both, so we have two different aspects here that we can bring to you. So,
Yeah.
great question, Pablo.
Exactly. And as a little transition here, we've seen Nine Ball in the chat this whole time. You've seen him on my channel before, and I'm going to be inviting him onto the Immortal podcast really soon. No pressure. But this is his Twitter right now. If you guys want to give him a follow, he also runs the WM workshop, the West March workshop. You could follow that, and he streams on Twitch as well if you want to see more stuff. Focused right now on Diablo 3. I'm sure he will do some Diablo Immortal stuff, but he's at Nine Ball Gamer, and as he says, nine. The German 9. So go check him out if you want some more stuff on Diablo related lore, especially. He's kind of the lore master. But we had a question from Brackets came through, his second question that we're addressing here, regarding how PC users are going to play Diablo Immortal. Do you think that running applications such as BlueStacks will be against terms of service, or do you think it wouldn't matter? Now, I spoke to Wyatt about this when we were at Blizzcon, and that was a year ago, of course. Now, he's a developer. He doesn't make all the decisions. He's developing a game, but he's been a source that I've spoken to quite a bit. And I know from our discussions that they want as many people to play the game as possible, right? They don't want to like close it in on just people that are going to play on their phone. But I personally think that it's going to be able to be played on BlueStacks. And Nemo, can you take this question over for a minute while I go for a little search here?
Sure, sure. I mean, as far as BlueStacks, the only reason they would not, in my opinion, have an issue, the only reason they would not allow you to play it on BlueStacks if there was some sort of an esports thing where there would be cheating involved, right? The reason the BlueStacks is not allowed by some of the companies is because obviously there's esports. So with esports, there's money, there's competition, and you have to
Right.
be able to make sure that no one cheats. When you have an application that runs on your computer, like BlueStacks does, because that's what BlueStacks is. You install the application on your Windows or whatever, and then it kind of emulates a phone or a tablet, and that becomes like a little tablet or a little phone inside of your computer where you can play mobile games. The thing you can also do with that, which people, I'm not, you should not do that, but you could also, if you knew what you were doing, could install hacks that would manipulate BlueStacks and therefore manipulate the game. It's really hard to do, but you could cheat if you wanted to. And that's the only reason, in my opinion, a lot of the game companies do not allow you to run BlueStacks. So if there was no esports element, I think that they would.
Yeah, and I mean, really, not only that, and I just pulled up on the screen, this is the BlueStacks website. There is a pre-register for Diablo Immortal button there to play it on BlueStacks. If I go back one page, it is an available game. You can see it right here. Install Diablo Immortal on BlueStacks. Now, it's not available right now, but it looks to me that it's going to be. And I mean, there have been games in the past that have been on BlueStacks that are then against the terms of service for the game and have had issues, but it looks to me like it's going to be available on BlueStacks. And now Nemo mentions that esports and all that where people could gain a fair advantage. I think that's a very fair point to make. But also, if people can manipulate the game to the point where it's not, if they could take it to a place where it's not playable for others because they are able to destroy the game and get such an advantage over people because it's on PC and they can manipulate it, that's when also, in addition to the prizes, the money, and all that stuff, it could become a problem and we could see bans. But if it's just being used as another way to play, I think it's going to be okay. And that's going to be great to pull in the PC community. We have people, kind of like myself and Nemo, we have insane computers. I have a rig that can play anything, and I play mobile games. First of all, that makes no sense, but it does in my mind because of how I game. But point is, PC gamers are going to want to play on their PC, allowing them to introducing them to a mobile game, being able to allow them to play it through an emulator, I think would be a smart choice. Also, controller support would probably be smart as well for those console gamers that, okay, they have their iPad, right? But they don't want to use those mobile controls that I personally love, but they could mount it up and they could use a controller and still experience the game. Again, as long as it's not going to be giving a competitive advantage to someone, I think it's going to be okay. We have a Celius in the chat as well. Thank you so much for coming through, guys. Nemo, what other questions have we got?
That's actually a solid question. The feel of it, right? We talked about the mobile controls, and you talked about in the last video how you like mobile and tablet, and some people have issues with the joysticks, right? Not being able to play. I normally have a lot of problems with that until I played Raziel, and I gotta be honest, I fell in love with mobile controls for specifically action RPGs and the way it was laid out. It was, I mean, I played it on a tablet, but it's perfect. But normally I run to the controller. I'll be honest with you. Like any game that I play on mobile, I try to see if it has a controller on it because I have Bluetooth controllers and all that stuff. But Raziel, I honestly fell in love with it. I think that it would be, I honestly, I mean, I don't know, but in my opinion, it'd probably be nicer to play on a mobile device than it would be on BlueStacks. Controller, if you have hand issues, yeah, but I mean, you said yourself, right? It runs and plays smoother than Raziel as far as the controls go.
I mean, Diablo Immortal is a step up in every area than Raziel, and that's me saying that. And I really enjoyed Raziel. I thought the game was fun. And the problem that I'm having is I got to experience the game that's going to be the best on mobile for a long time. Diablo Immortal is going to launch, and it's going to be the best thing on mobile for years. I'm guaranteeing that, at least from me and my experience that I had. It's going to be my favorite thing to play because it's just incredible. I'm sure that Nine could attest to that as well because I believe he got to play it. But with that being said, yes, Raziel was a very good game and it played well and all that. It just can't compare, and it's hard for me to compare games to Diablo Immortal and say, well, that's just about as good because really nothing is. I mean, the only game that I could say is as polished as Diablo Immortal is and that was from a year ago, is Genshin Impact. The game is beautiful. The game is great. I don't know if that's your type of game, but it's made really well. Now, we have Rusty Chains coming in. I think that's his name. Says, I think PC and console games will be dead because of mobile games. Mobile games are the future of gaming. Imagine connect your phone to a TV and play games like the Switch. And I mean, that's not even a prediction. This is what's happening. The mobile gaming market, if we look at worldwide, and I wish I had a chart of it. I will look for that in a moment to show you guys that. If you look at the chart, which I'll get for you, mobile games are like 60 to 70% of the platform that people use right now to play their games worldwide. That means that PC, console, they're testing for like 30 to 35%. Nemo, take over the conversation, maybe jump into another chat. I want to try and find that chart
Sure.
to kind of relay that information.
This is actually exciting. See, I don't know. I mean, yes, mobile will take over because everybody has a mobile phone and everybody, you know, especially if it's free to play, most people will try the game out because it's free to play and because it's on mobile and everybody has a mobile phone for sure. But does that mean that the PC gaming community is dead? Absolutely not. You got to see Diablo Immortal. Diablo came out 2000. Well, Diablo 3 came out 2012. There's still communities and people. I mean, people are streaming on Twitter. The season 22 just came out. Guess what I was doing yesterday for 6 hours straight? That's right. I was grinding my witch doctor because Diablo in general, Blizzard pulls people in, and once you love the games, they have a good way of kind of continuing them, right? Diablo, World of Warcraft, all of these games have been on forever, and just because a mobile phone came out doesn't mean that they're going to be dead. It's quite the opposite, actually. A lot of people have PCs, laptops. What's great about Diablo in general, and Blizzard games, as far as we go, you don't need a super big rig to run them. You can run them on a laptop. You can run them on anything. You really don't need something very powerful. And that's one of the other reasons that a lot of people play these games. This isn't Call of Duty. This isn't like, the new Assassin's Creed where you need a 3080 to be able to run it at 60 FPS or 120 FPS 4K. So you know what I'm talking about. This isn't that case. I don't think the Diablo 3 community and the PC community is going away anywhere.
Yeah. And T McVie actually makes a great point, and this is smart of game developers. She's saying that a lot of games are cross-platform right now, like Among Us, right? Because I mean, look at the chart I just put up on the screen. Sorry, Nemo, I accidentally covered your face for a moment with this.
Okay.
You know, you can never open up things on the right screen. Sorry about that. But look at the the mobile gaming market for 2019. So a little dated. It's probably more in favor of mobile right now, just so you guys know. But mobile games made $68.5 billion in 2019, which is 45%. So the numbers were a little bit skewed as far as profits go. This is not players, this is profit that they make. The PC gaming community made 35.7, while the console made 48 billion. So right now, I mean, they're 20 billion above the console, and they're double almost what the PC community is making. Now, again, this is based on money made, not the amount of players that are on those platforms. And when you're keeping that in mind, guys, remember that a lot of people that play on mobile, they may not have a console or a PC. Maybe they don't have those means. Sorry, things keep glitching on my computer here. They may not have those means. So, you know, they may not be spending as much. Doesn't mean that the player base isn't even greater than what we just saw right there.
Yep. That's a good point, because remember when Diablo came out, right? You bought the Diablo and then you bought a couple expansions if you wanted to, and that's it. And you just played. So did they make a lot of money off of you? I mean, they made their money in the old school model, but the new model of making money in the mobile obviously exploded everything. Like, look at Call of Duty Mobile, $500 million this year. It's one of the highest games for Activision. And it's because of the new free-to-play premium model. Is the way they're able to make money, because there's more engagement, there's more players playing, and so on and so forth. That's not how it used to be. So you can't really compare. I mean, I hear you what you say, but you can't really fully compare those.
Yeah, I mean, that was just the chart that I was able to pick up without getting completely sucked in by the internet during the show. But I mean, I was just trying to show the numbers, right? And the money is probably not the most important thing, or the best example as to how many players are playing. But I want to let everyone know that we're getting towards the end of the show. This is gonna be a 45-minute to a 60-minute show every other week. So if there's any questions that you have, get them in right now. But let me pose you guys a question. You could let us know in the chat. First of all, I actually have two. One, where are you guys from? Where are you watching from? What state? What country? Let me know. And also, what games are you playing now while you're waiting for Diablo Immortal? A couple of games that people are really into that are dungeon crawlers are Raziel is one big one. A lot of people say like Titan's Quest, I believe. I didn't even play that one. And what's that other one? Oh my goodness, I can't remember the name of it right now. It's like Diablo 2 on mobile. I got to go back to my own channel because I did do a video on it, but I don't.
You mean Raziel?
No, not Raziel. There was another one.
Path of Exile? Oh, it's not. That's not on mobile yet.
No, it's not. Yeah, and let's talk about that. Everyone's hating on Diablo Immortal for taking so long, but let's talk about Path of Exile. We heard about the announcement, haven't heard a word from them since.
And well, that was a funny announcement too.
What's that?
Did you see that announcement? The video to that announcement? That was interesting.
It was
they were actually poking fun at Blizzard, yet we haven't seen anything from them, so it's kind of funny.
Honestly, they did a really nice job with their announcement. They did it in a way that just kind of made them invulnerable. They couldn't be hurt by their announcement just because of how they did it. They made it so casual. I can't find the name of the game that I was talking about. That's a bummer. I can't remember. Ethereum is one that I liked playing a lot, but that game's been out for like 5 years.
People are from all over the world. We got people from Germany, Argentina, Romania. We got people from Texas, Philippines, Florida. Look at this. North Carolina.
There it is. Anima is the game. Thank you so much, Rect. I appreciate that. Yeah, Anima is the game. Now, I don't love Anima, and here's my reason why. I actually like games for the graphics and the comfort, the feel of the game. Anima feels like Diablo 2, right? It definitely has that dated feel. Not saying that the game isn't good, because I know that the dungeon crawler action RPG community loves the game. For me, though, I want more of a polished feel. So I enjoyed Raziel a bit more because it had more of the new age feel to it, where Diablo Immortal is going to, be even better. It's going to blow your mind. So we heard where people are from. It looks like we got people coming from all over the world, which that is one of the best things about doing these streams and about being on YouTube is we get introduced to people from everywhere. And funny thing here about Nemo and I, he and I were introduced through YouTube, and we get to find out we live 30 minutes from each other, and we're able to hang out every so often, which is nice. He's actually planning on coming over tomorrow to help set up my new mixer, because he is a tech genius. So thank you.
Hey, anytime. I'm excited about that. Let's do it. All
right. So what other comments have come through? We have people playing Clash of Clans, Clash Royale, PUBG, Call of Duty. Okay, I'm scrolling through. I just want to see what you guys are playing. I know Nine is playing Diablo 3. Yep, soon Shadowlands he's going to be playing as well. Oh. So Nine Ball is someone who's not a mobile gamer. We got to get him onto a mobile game. Honestly, Nine, if you want to experience an action RPG on mobile, the best one, would be one of the two that we just announced, which would either be Anima or Raziel. If you want to just like play for an hour, see what the experience is like, and I'll remind you that none of them are going to be as good as Diablo Immortal. That goes for anyone that's watching, that's a PC or console gamer and wants to get an experience for something on mobile. And if you want probably the best mobile gaming experience right now before Diablo Immortal, and you're into that type of game, it's going to be Genshin Impact, because the game is just, it's just made beautifully. It's probably the most beautiful game out right now on mobile. And if you're into shooters, COD Mobile, PUBG Mobile, especially,
and on
like
PC.
That.
Did you know you could play Genshin Impact on PC too?
I did know that. I did. Yep.
Yeah.
And for me, I'd rather play it on mobile.
That was a heated debate we had actually 2 days ago with some of the people. And I agree. I'd play it on mobile, but they were like, dude, you got to try it on PC. The graphics are better, the controls, this, that. I downloaded it, but I haven't tried it yet.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. Like, when you play something on PC, especially if you have a good PC like you and I do, you know, the graphics are going to be better and the screen is going to be bigger and all that. But for me, I just like the controls on mobile. I like that if I get 10 minutes throughout my day, I could pull out my phone and pop into a little bit of these games and play them, rather than having to sit down here in my command station and set up a gaming session. I just, as an adult, as a father, as a person that works full-time, does YouTube full-time as well, literally 2 full-time things going on right now, I don't have the time. I get my gaming in when I can sneak a few rounds in here and there. That's why I love games and got into Clash of Clans, by the way. It takes 3 minutes to do a round of Clash of Clans. So throughout the day, I could pop on 8-10 times, play a few rounds, enjoy a gaming experience without actually sitting down. And then back in the day, I used to sit and play like Call of Duty in the evening in front of my computer. But the cool thing about Diablo Immortal is I believe you're going to be able to have those fast sessions, but also the ability to have these extensive gaming sessions as well. So it can fit those quick moments that you have during the day, as well as the evenings when you want to just sit down and get into a nice dungeon with your friends. I mean, how cool is that going to be if Nemo, you, me, and people that we're meeting here in this community right now can come and just join up together in the nights and do some raids together. By the way, guys, linked in the description of this video is one, Nemo's YouTube channel, which also focuses right now on Diablo Immortal. Go check that out. But also my Discord server, which Nemo created. He built my server, and we're actually be doing some work on it again soon to further enhance it. But I have a Diablo Immortal section. MFPF is one of my mods over there. And that's where we're going to be building this community. That's where we're going to be getting together for game sessions and really just being part of this Diablo Immortal community together. And that's why we're starting things early, to build the community so that when the game launches, we're ready to go. Yeah, that's it. Any last questions we had coming through, Nemo, or last things that you want to mention before we head out for the day?
Well, just to echo what you said, I cannot wait for that. It's going to be so exciting. Seriously, I don't even know. I'm going to explode. I can't wait for that. We're going to be able to play together on the mobile device with everybody else. We're going to be able to do live streams. You're going to be able to jump in and play games with us. Definitely get into the Discord server, because we'll have squads. We'll have all kinds of stuff set up there. That Diablo section, wait until Immortal comes out, because it's going to get triple the size. We have a whole bunch of events coming up. I'm so excited for this. So that's all I have to say, because, well, I don't want to keep going. I'm very, very excited. Let's go.
I know you are. So I'm looking through the chat right now. We'll just give a little bit of love to everyone. And we're having people playing a lot of Genshin Impact. I mean, literally everyone's playing Genshin Impact. A lot of people playing Diablo, other Diablo games. Destiny 2, which actually got really hot lately. I think there was some big update or something that
Beyond the Light came out. That's why.
Kind of a big deal. Yeah. Great game, by the way, as well. I have one video on this channel for that game. It actually picked up views over time, too. I was surprised. Call of Duty Mobile. That's Nemo, right now. What is on your phone? What games are on your phone right now? And I will then tell you mine.
On my phone, let me look. I have Clash of Clans.
Yep.
I have Raziel. I have a new game called AA. Wait, that's on my tablet, actually.
It's A3 Still Alive.
Yeah, that's what I've been playing. A3 Still Alive. That's a pretty cool one. I have that one. That's all I'm playing so far. Oh, and Genshin.
All right, so for me, on my phone, which is different from what's on my tablet, I also have A3, yet to try it, but that's probably going to be a comparison video on my video here. I just downloaded Plants vs. Zombies 2. I don't know why. We have Rise of Kingdoms, which I cover on my main channel. COD Mobile, I play for fun. Dragon Champions, which is actually linked down below. Use my affiliate link if you decide to try that one out, plus code ECHO GIFT. We have Brawl Stars for my Brawl Stars channel, Clash of Clans for my Clash of Clans channel, and then I have The Folder, of games that I play less frequently. And in there we have Clash Royale, Strike Force, AFK Arena, and State of Survival. State of Survival just went into my folder, and out came Rise of Kingdoms. I can't play both at the same time, and I swapped them just to try it out on YouTube. But I would quickly start doing State of Survival again soon if I could have a discussion with the development team, if you're watching. But man, oh, we got Aries coming through. Thank you so much, Aries. Appreciate that love. And we appreciate everyone coming through today. I mean, we are done. We are closing up episode 1 of the Immortal Podcast. Just this date should be set in stone for you guys. In my videos, in Nemo's videos, we will be saying who is an OG of the Diablo Immortal Podcast. Blizzard is creating a game that's going to last for years on mobile, continuously improving over time. The Diablo Immortal Podcast will be here through those years. We will continuously be doing this year in and year out, and you will hear me say who is an OG of the Diablo Immortal Podcast. And for the 1,000 people that came through this stream here today, you guys are the OGs, and you could let me know and remind me when I ask that question, because you guys are here. It's official. Don't let any imposters come in. We can't let it happen. But Nemo, thanks so much, man. I appreciate you coming through and hanging out. Episode 1 in the books, brother.
I'm so excited. I love this. This is a great show. I cannot wait for more. It's really nice to be able to hang out with my best friend and a whole bunch of people that love Diablo Immortal and are excited for it. I cannot wait for more shows. I can't wait for Immortal. I can't wait to hang out and play with all of you. Thank you so much for coming through. Love you all, and I'll see you in the next episode.
Yes, as will I. Thank you guys so much for the support. I appreciate it. We'll see you again in 2 weeks. Every Sunday around 11 a.m. Eastern Time, we will be going live. This will be on my channel as a video afterwards. So if you're tuning in late, make sure you check in. I'm not sure when it's going to upload. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow, but it will be there for you to watch from beginning to end. But remember, if you want to get involved in the Diablo Immortal Podcast, actually, I keep calling it that. It's the Immortal Podcast, and it's not even really a podcast because we're here talking on video. But if you want to get involved in the Immortal Podcast, follow us on the socials, hit us up. We could take your questions from there if you can't tune in live. But if you can, we are listening, reading, and responding to the chat. And that's what makes this the best Immortal Podcast ever, and also the only one. So it's easy to win right now. We'll see what happens in the future. Thank you guys so much. Have a great day. Be good.